Seahawks fans, wherever you may be. Thanks for listening to the show. Join your hosts, Bill Alvstad and Keith Myers, as we talk Seahawks football. Hey, hi, Seahawks fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Seahawks Playbook podcast. I'm your host, Bill Alvstad, sitting down, as always, with Mr. Keith Myers. We're here to talk Seahawks football. This is the Game 9 preview show. Cardinals at Seahawks. Just to let you know, a little up front, we've got a little audio and video lag between us, and we're going to do our best to work around that, and we'll just have to be patient with each other and let each other comment and add questions, hopefully, where it all makes sense. So I just thought I'd start off, Keith, welcoming you in, obviously, and then talking with the New Orleans Saints. Seattle acquired Rashid Shaheed for a 4th and a 5th round pick in 2026. That leaves us with 4 picks remaining. After that, we still have a 1st round draft pick, which, you know, I'll take it. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, I think. And a 6th, I believe, is what we have left. But what do you think of the trade? Does it incrementally help us? Does it make a big, huge difference? Are you happy with standing pat with the rest of the roster?
Yeah, actually, I'm okay with it. I think that I would have loved them to get a right guard, but if there wasn't one on the market that already did stuff with an outside zone scheme, then it would have been a slow roll for them to get up to speed, and there wasn't one, so they didn't go with it. They decided to go wide receiver, since they've been really thin at wide receiver recently, and hope that they get some more balance out of the passing offense. And then, I think that ultimately the team is better today than it was. Those draft picks might hurt, but they're still a better team.
Yeah, I think that, Sam's really been efficient this year with his downfield passes, 10 plus air yards, 69.2% completion percentage, which is ranked 1st in the NFL, 13 touchdown passes out of those. 1st in the NFL, 16.2 yards per pass attempt, 1st, 140.8 passer rating out of that. Just in this last game, Darnold went 8 for 9, 191 yards and 4 touchdowns on passes that went over 10 yards against the Commanders. So just to add another weapon for them in that, so that Njigba doesn't have, double teamed all the time. I think that's great. I think there's going to be some opportunities to kind of let the ball go and see what happens there. I think incrementally opens up the running game as well, where we could see a few more light boxes. So I think overall it's a good thing. He's already expressed interest in being around and sticking around long term. So it sounds like maybe they've had a conversation with management to kind of work on a contract in the off season, I would imagine. So now that we've had a few days to kind of recover from that Washington game, Keith, it seems like the rest of the country is finally caught up to what we've known for quite a while, and kind of expressed on this show our belief and has a real opportunity to go deep into the playoffs. What are your thoughts around everyone else kind of catching up finally?
I mean, it was only a matter of time. I mean, the Seahawks have been playing too good of football for everyone to continue to not notice. I kind of like the idea of sneaking up on teams and not having people take you seriously. But when you have the best record in the NFC and have been just steamrolling teams lately, you can't go under the radar forever. So Yeah, it's going to be, it's now they play it from a different spot. Now you're the one being gunned at. Everyone's going to give you their best shot because you're the one sitting at the top. So we'll see how they respond.
Yeah. I think, before we get into the Cardinals game, which we certainly will, I just want to mention too that this team is currently the only team that ranks in the top 5 DVOA rankings in offense, defense, and special teams. They're also 5th in points scored, 5th in points allowed, 2nd in yards per play, 3rd in opponent yards per play. Keith, they are absolutely just dominating right now.
Really
I haven't felt this level of kind of domination by the team since 2014, I think. Like on all sides of the ball, all cylinders, just really at will on the defensive side, able to stop offenses, really hold the scoring down. And our offense is just really firing on all cylinders now. It is exceeding my expectations of what I thought the offense was capable of. You and I both thought the defense could potentially be top defense in the NFL, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think both of us would have been lying if we would have said, I can see a top 5 offense.
Yeah.
Now, we did talk about top 10, but we also talked about maybe reaching top 10 halfway through the season or towards the back end of the what are your thoughts overall about this entire roster and where they're at?
Well, I'll say that Sam Darnold's been better than I think we could have reasonably expected, and that's made a huge difference. And JSN, despite not having, a guy like DK pulling coverage, just continues to have a monster season. I mean, he has played one fewer games than about half the teams out there because of Seahawks already having their bye, and he still has over 100 more yards than the second most receiving yards in the league. So that helps a lot. And the offensive line's learned how to pass block. They're really doing some nice things for Sam Darnold. Now, the run blocking hasn't been really what we wanted it to be, but they've smart, competent coaching, which they didn't have last year on the offensive side of the ball, really makes a difference. This offense is schematically coordinated well, and the guys are executing really well. And I'm just really happy with what we're seeing. And I mean, you go through and you start looking at the stats. I have a hard time believing that Sam Darnold is not the front runner for the MVP at this point. So yeah, we'll see. What do you think about that?
I am in agreement with you. I mean, he's definitely in the hunt, just like Seattle right now is definitely in the hunt for a Super Bowl. Like you could, and nobody would even bat an eye. You could easily put an argument together that we are one of 5 teams, one of 4 teams in the NFC that are in the hunt for the Super Bowl right now. And it would be a legitimate argument. I'll give you an example of where we're at historically. From 1978 to 2025, we are the 4th best overall total DVOA team through 8 games, only falling short to the 2007 New England Patriots, the 1991 Washington then Redskins, the 1985 Chicago Bears with that great defense. Now the 2025 Seattle Seahawks, your 4th best DVOA team through 8 games since 1978.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's incredible. I would have thought the 2013 team would have been on there because that defense was elite all year. But the offense really came along and it was good all year, but it was elite down the stretch too. And so I would have thought that they would have been in the top because I know that by the end of the season, they're a top 3 all time in terms of DVOA. So that's pretty cool too.
Okay. So I just wanted to put that in historical perspective. So everyone kind of knows that we're just not talking. It's not hyperbole. This is this is real. This is very real. Seahawks are legit. They are probably the best 6-2 team, I think, in the NFL. And you could make an argument that, in fact, NFL.com just ranked Seattle number one in their power rankings. So it's getting real. We're getting the recognition. Like you said, though, with that comes a little bit more attention. We'll see how they navigate that. This week, Keith, we play the second game in the 2-game series in the NFC West against the Arizona Cardinals. A couple things different than the last time that we played them. It's at Lumen Field this time. Last time was in the desert. Last time we faced Kyler Murray at quarterback. This time we faced Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. Last game, they held Jaxon-smith and Njigba without a catch in the first half, and he ended up coming on at the second half. We kicked that last second field goal to win it, walk off. Since then, the franchise is kind of heading in opposite directions. They essentially benched Kyler Murray, found a way to kind of keep him now off the roster and onto IR. Got to miss at least 4 games. I would think, based on guarantees and so forth in his contract, he's probably shut down now for the season. I think that he's probably taken the last snap with the Arizona Cardinals. Keith, react to that.
Well, I mean, if you look a couple of years ago, it looked like because he missed most of a year, and it looked like they were going to try and get out from underneath that. But he came back and they had him play, which given the injury guarantees, I was shocked at, but he looked good, and he helped that team just kind of be a lot more stable and competent over those last few games. And so you're thinking, okay, maybe, he's found a way to be more consistent and everything. But he did not look good this year. This is not a case of, oh, well, the offense is bad and he's just being the scapegoat. He has not played well. And I think some of his deficiencies are really, they've really been apparent, and it's really been kind of holding the team back. And I agree with you. I think that he's done in Arizona. He'll probably be a Jet or something next year. And then that will depend on where his career goes, because if he succeeds once he leaves, then he'll have more chances. If he doesn't succeed outside of Arizona, then he'll be a backup. He'll be the next Russell Wilson, right? A guy who had some success where he started, but then nothing after he left.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, since we played them, Seattle's, including that game, dominant on national television. 3 straight wins on national TV. And this last one really was the difference maker, I think, for all the pundits, how they view Seattle. And then you go out at the trade deadline, you add Rashid Shaheed to the roster. And it just makes that wide receiver room really nice and solid. I feel a lot better about it. We mentioned a week, maybe it was the last show or the show before, we were talking about potential for injuries in the wide receiver room. And if you get injured at the top of that wide receiver room, the dependency that we have come to have on Jaxon-smith and Njigba with Sam is, and if that were to go away, I think the season would be in jeopardy, because there's just not enough behind that to really fill in. We saw that they filled in okay. Obviously, Torrey Horton stepped up in a big way against the Commanders. But can you expect that to happen game after game? I think this provides a little insurance there, and it makes me feel just a little better about spreading the ball around a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, I look at that and I go, you've got, Cooper Kupp, Tariq Young, and Jake Bobo all hurt and out. They kept 5 wide receivers on the roster. 3 of them didn't play in that game. You had 2 healthy wide receivers, and then you brought up 2 guys off the practice squad, just so that way you could have bodies. But they were bodies. You only had 2 wide receivers on your roster. So I think that trade was necessary They really needed to add some depth there, especially because it doesn't look like Jake Bobo and Tariq Young are coming back anytime soon. Now Cooper Kupp looks like he's going to play in this game, and that's good because now they're 4 deep at wide receiver instead of 2, and that's much where you want to be. You need that depth, because if anything happens to JSN, now you will at least have the other 3 guys, and you're hoping that all of them can step up a little bit and make up some of that difference. Your offense is going to take a step back if you lost your best player, but you hope that you have the depth to weather that storm a little bit. But I just say, or JSN could just never get hurt, and I'd be happy with that too.
Yeah, I know. We need to just stop talking about this. So the body comment. Now I have to respond, because if I didn't, Cody White might reach into this show and grab us by the collar and say, "I'm not just a body dude. I scored a 60-yard touchdown. Come on." Yes, he did. That was amazing. Yes. But what did you think of Torrey Horton stepping up in that game when he had to?
Oh, I loved it. He was in a different role. They've been using him as a third, receiver. He runs a lot of deep routes, and not much else. And because he now is, the number 2, and he's up there, he's doing the Cooper Kupp routes. And so he's getting a chance to do more stuff over the middle, more stuff in the intermediate range. And that electric speed that he has showed up in the game, and you saw his ability to just run away from guys, not down the field, but running on crossing routes, and his release off the line of scrimmage was really good on one of those touchdowns. It's that kind of stuff. Like, you've got he's been given an opportunity to showcase his talents more than he was before, just because of the role has changed.
How do you think the impact of Rashid is going to affect his game?
Honestly, I think that he will have been in town for 3 days before they'll have had 2 practices and a walkthrough. I don't know if he's going to have a huge impact, just because does he know the playbook this first game? After this, though, I think you're going to see him get an opportunity to step up, and you're going to see, if we see guys like Jake Bobo and Tariq Young on offense once they're healthy and come back, I'd be surprised. I just don't expect us to see those guys. And so any snaps that they had are now going to go to, they're going to be tacked on with Horton and Rashid.
Now, it wouldn't surprise me, Keith, if Rashid had a larger role than maybe we think. He was in Kubiak's offense last year.
That's true.
In New Orleans. And so he's familiar with the scheme, familiar with the verbiage. I think he could integrate fairly quickly. Now, the question is, can he integrate with the other guys fairly quickly? We'll see. I think they do ease him in. I mean, he's probably going to take 10 snaps, I think, maybe more. You just really never know. But I do think that, it's going to be week 2, 3 for him before he really integrates. Wanted to talk about Arizona a little bit. They've gone through a lot of changes on their roster since we played him last. Of course, Jacoby Brissett at quarterback position. Bam Knight is now the running back number 1 versus Trey Benson when we played them. Zay Jones over Greg Dortch. Will Hernandez is starting on the offensive line now, as opposed to Isaiah Adams during that game. Now Walter Nolan is available, and they did not have him when we played them on that first game. I think has a potential to be a real impact player in the NFL, and we'll see how our offensive line kind of does against a kind of a combo of Dante Stills and Walter Nolan facing our interior offensive line. Will Johnson, the cornerback, is going to be in this game. Kytrell Clark was the corner last time we played. Garrett Williams is also in, playing for probably Max Melton. Max is on the injury report. We'll see if he plays in this game. So they've got a lot of players. They're playing okay. I mean, they've lost some close games, Keith. Obviously, I think Seattle's superior in almost every aspect. Certainly total DVOA, Seattle ranks number 1 overall. Cardinals are 19th. We could go down the line. Seattle's essentially just dominating, and the Cardinals are mid at virtually every corner on their roster. Their defense has been getting nailed lately. They haven't been able to get a pass rush. Teams have been able to run on them. I think offensively they've been doing okay. But we'll see. I just suspect that Seattle's going to be too much for them on both sides of the ball, especially in the trenches. Seattle's offensive line is surprising me. They were recently ranked number 1, at least the last 2 weeks, ranked number 1 the last 2 weeks in pass protection. And part of that, Keith, is just Sam Darnold's just been so good going through his progressions quickly, getting the ball out quickly. This offense is completely well suited to him. You just can't, other than running the ball a little bit better and more effectively when we do run the ball, I can't think of anything else I could improve on this current state of the roster.
Yeah. Things are working. Things are just you're right. Things are just working really well. You went through a long list of things that have changed with Arizona. I'm not convinced that all those things are improvements. That team seems to have taken a step back. They haven't looked as good. They haven't looked as competitive. And yes, Jacoby Brissett has been, playing well compared to Kyler Murray, but he's got a long history of being just a journeyman. He's not a guy that's going to go win you games. He can play some smart football and do some things there for you, but
he takes care of the ball.
He's not going to win you games. Yeah, he's not going to win you games. He doesn't make
mistakes. He doesn't throw interceptions.
But this is a game where I look at it very similar to the Washington game, where Seattle's defense is going to make their life, just miserable. And I just don't see any way that they keep up with what Seattle can do offensively. Looking at these two rosters, I think the Washington roster is a better roster. And look what Seattle just did to Washington. So, how do you see this game going?
Well, historically, Jacoby Brissett has not been good against pressure. He's very back third of the NFL as far as being a pressure type quarterback. It takes a long time to get the ball out. I think Sam Darnold's averaging 2.7 seconds to get the ball out. Jacoby Brissett's 3.18. And that's led to some issues, I think, on their offense as far as being able to get the ball out on time and converting on third downs and so forth. That's not going to get any better in this game. That's the wrong game to try to correct that if you're the Cardinals. I think that you could see some dump offs, some more, running backs out of the backfield type plays in this game to kind of mitigate that a little bit. Dumping the ball over the top of the defense, over the not necessarily back end, just over the tops of linebackers' heads and so forth. You've got Tyrese Knight here. Ernest Jones may play. Don't have a status report as of Thursday evening. He was limited in practice on Wednesday, which is good. We thought maybe he'd be out for a game or two. So we'll see what happens there. You mentioned the roster changes. Seattle's roster's changed as well. We added Rashid Shaheed. Since we played them, DeMarcus Lawrence didn't play in that game. We've got DeMarcus Lawrence. Tyrese Knight possibly over Ernest Jones. We'll see how that transpires. Nick Manwari didn't play in that last game. Nick Manwari is playing well and is a force. Julian Love was out in that game. Was not out in that game, is out now. Tayakota is playing, but he's also playing well. So I think, as far as the roster is concerned, the way that this thing kind of comes together, As far as, my prediction and what I think is going to happen in this game, I think the defense again is the juggernaut here for Seattle and really limits the Cardinals' ability to score points. I know that we talked about this before the last game that we played the Cardinals when Kyler Murray was going to be the quarterback. I just don't know. Jacoby Brissett is, to me, better suited for the offense they do have and what they want to do and be more efficient. But I don't think it's enough to overcome what Seattle does with their defensive front. And I think Seattle really just kind of manhandles this team, and they have a hard time scoring 10, if not, 13 maybe. And then on Seattle's end, holy smokes, what they did to Washington is like, it was so easy. Like Sam Darnold made it look so easy. And on the plays that he was pressured, and there was only like 3 or 4, he just completely stood there and had a great presence about him, sidestepped the rush, created a couple extra moments for him to get the ball to his third read or whatever. Just a masterful performance that we saw in that game. He made one mistake, and we don't even know if it was really his mistake or was the wide receiver's mistake. It looked like it was probably Sam's. He probably shouldn't have thrown it in there, but that was the only play out of the entire game that he looked, even remotely average. Everything else was just completely above average. And so I expect domination on both sides of the ball, Keith. I'm thinking this might be a game where they, go well into the 30s as far as the score on the offensive side. Their defense, the Cardinals defense is okay, but something special going on with Seattle's offense right now where it's just clicking, and they do have an opportunity, I think, here to run the ball well against this team. And if that happens, I don't know. I'm thinking like, I'm going to just say 34-13.
Wow. That's a big win. The Seahawks are 7-point favorites in this game, and given how much that Vegas does not like predicting more, they don't like lines that are over 5. But that gives you an idea that Vegas really likes Seattle in this one. And honestly, I'm kind of looking at, you say that Brissett's better suited for the offense. Okay, but he's less talented. And with Kyler Murray, there was always that chance that he was going to pull the ball down and, get that 40-yard rush to, just be a pain in the ass to your defense and convert some third downs that way that other guys can't. Brissett's not going to do that. And so it's going to be, they're more efficient with Brissett, but less dynamic. And honestly, I'm not sure you can beat Seattle like that. You've got to be able to make big plays. You've got to be able to, get Seattle out of doing what they want to do. And I just don't see Arizona, the talent on that roster right now being able to do it. That's a team that needs to run the ball really well. And, Connor's on IR for the rest of the year. He's done. And he was there, he was the guy that was going to keep that offense together and make it productive. And now they're just trying to fill in. And I would agree with you. I don't see them scoring a lot of points. 13 is, that would be I think a strong outing for Arizona in this game. I don't want to go 34 because we saw what happened in Washington where Seattle got up big and then literally stopped trying. They were just trying to get rid of the clock. And so if they're up big again, we're going to see that again. We're going to see Drew Lock for a quarter like we did against Washington. And that hurts the team's ability to run up points. So I'm going to be a little nicer to Arizona and say that it's going to be like 27-13 Seattle.
I love that, but here's how I'm going to get it done for you, Keith, to get them well into the 30s. Seattle's defense is going to be directly responsible for 10 of those points. Okay. So Seattle scores 27 on offense, but scores another 10 as a direct result of their defense. How about that?
Okay. If they can get Brissett and the Arizona to turn the ball over, then yeah. I mean, that's the one thing that Seattle that they haven't been dominant with is turnover differential. I think they're -3 on the season. And so if they take care of the ball and they turn Arizona over a couple times with the already like the talent difference between these two rosters, like that's going to turn, this game's going to be ugly. It's going to be like the New Orleans game real quick.
So I was just looking at the remaining schedule, Keith. Out of the following games, tell me where Seattle is not favored. Rams. I'm going to start with the toughest one on the schedule. Seahawks versus the Rams. Seahawks, Titans, Vikings, Seahawks, Falcons, Colts, Seahawks, Rams, Seahawks, second game. Seahawks, Panthers, Seahawks, 49ers. Those are the remaining matchups, Keith.
The only games where the Seahawks will be favored will be probably this first Rams game.
Do you think it'll be a draw? Do you think it'll be even?
I think it'll be like a 1.5 point favor on one team or the other. But there's a chance that it's the Rams. And that Colts game, the way the Colts have been playing and the way that, I'm sorry, the idea that Daniel Jones is a good quarterback just absolutely blows my mind because he was so bad.
He didn't look It didn't look good this last game.
No, but he's looked good in every other game. And so
I think our defense is so good, Keith. I'm so looking forward to these games because that Indianapolis game doesn't really scare me. It's like that might scare some teams. Their offense is really good. It's number 1 ranked DVOA offense in the NFL. Going up against the number 1 defensive DVOA team. Wow, what a matchup. I mean, that's going to be amazing. But I'm not intimidated by this remaining schedule at all. Like there's a path to get to 13 wins out of this thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I really think there are 3 games there that you list as ones you got to be careful with, which are the 2 Rams games and the Indianapolis game. Every other game on that schedule, they're going to be favored in, and they're going to be favored in by a bunch. And yeah, people are going to be like, oh, what about San Francisco? Go look at what's happened to that San Francisco roster. And yeah, they've managed to squeeze out
against bad teams.
Against bad teams, they've been able to squeeze out lucky wins and last second things and whatever. So the win totals there, but they're not dominating bad teams. They're barely beating bad teams. So yeah, the Seahawks have 3 tough games on their schedule. You take 2 of them, that's a 13-win team.
How do you view Mike Macdonald's ability to keep this team disciplined on games like this Cardinal game, where the following game is the real big game on the schedule against the Rams?
I think that this team seem to be really focused, and they know that they've been battling through injuries and they're getting guys back. And so there's going to be there's a focus in that we're like, okay, we have work to do. We have to get some of these guys integrated into the offense or integrated into the defense, so we're ready for that game. And I think that there's those kind of things that will keep everyone kind of locked in. I haven't seen anything from a Mike Macdonald team where that big letdown game is a thing. We saw that occasionally from Pete Carroll's teams, but we just haven't seen it. Didn't happen last year, and it hasn't happened this year. I think that this is the way they prepare. I'm feeling really good about it. I don't think that this is where you have to worry about it. This team coming in unprepared.
Okay. Good show. The audio, I think, finally came together for us, so that was good. Yeah, let's go get this game. It's a home game. We need to reestablish dominance at home. We've got this thing figured out on the road, no doubt. Like, we are a dominant team that other teams fear. Let's get that thing at home going with the crowd and the defense, and kind of bring this thing home. And we've got a few games now remaining on the schedule to just establish ourselves and get that seeding in our favor, get home field advantage. We've got an opportunity here really to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. I mean, that's what's on the line right now. All things being equal, we're literally equal with all the other NFC teams. Now we just need to go take care of business down the stretch when these games really matter. And it starts now. It really does. I mean, we're approaching the next game is mid-November. And that's where things really start to get serious in the NFL. And we'll see what happens. So any final thoughts? Or are we good to go?
I think we're good. Go get a win, Seahawks. Go be loud, 12s. Yeah. Help your team out. Go be loud. Let's go get a win.
Follow Keith on Blue Sky at Myers NFL. You can follow me at NW Seahawk. The show is Seahawks Playbook Podcast. Follow us on your favorite podcast platform and our YouTube channel. And after that, leave us a comment, give us a like, and make sure you subscribe. So until next time, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Seahawks Playbook Podcast listeners, thanks for joining us for another edition of the show. You can find us on Twitter. Bill is at NW Seahawk, Keith is at Myers NFL, and the show is at Hawks Playbook. You can listen and subscribe to the show at SeahawksPlaybook.com.